Thank you for joining us on this edition of Channels Book Club. Welcome to the show. I am Yomi Otaigbe, sitting in for Kunle Kasamu, who's taking some time off, but we'll be back before you know it. Just before Kunle proceeded on his short time out, he engaged a creative writer and first-time author Layemi Olusoga in an interesting discussion on a fiction novel titled Women of Ayo-Kessington Dynasty, a story of love and intrigues.
Layemi, nice to have you on Channels Book Club. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Women of the Ayo-Kessington Dynasty. The first thing one will notice about your book is there's a lot of creativity in it. You know, from the cover design, then the font you used to write the name, and then the plot of of the story itself. So let's start from there. Tell me about your life as a creative writer, you know, and what gets you flowing.
Okay, so for me, most times I don't even consider myself a creative writer.
You don't? You just write?
I just write. I'm very intrigued by things that go on, especially topical issues that are trending on social media. So things like people marrying into different economic backgrounds. So like when you have somebody from a really wealthy family marrying somebody from an average family, the kind of discourse that goes on social media and all those things, they actually spark my curiosity, and a lot of times they influence my plots and my storylines. So I guess for me, my creativity is sparked by what's going on around me.
You just look around and then from there you create your...
Yeah.
But when did this writing thing start for you? I mean, you've been writing a fictional column for quite a while, you know, and this is your first published novel.
Yes, it is.
When did this what's your writing story?
Okay, so I wrote my first novel with a pen and notebook at 10. I was in secondary school at the time, and we were on summer vacation. And being the last of 4 kids at the time, I didn't really get to watch as much TV as I'd like, because my siblings always had...
They always bullied you.
Exactly. Huh? So early on, I found my stories as a means of escape. So I remember my first novel, which I never published or even gave a title, but I wrote it throughout my summer vacation, and I was very proud of myself.
That was what age?
I was 10.
10?
Yes, at the time. And I remember the story even till now. And for me, I think at that point, my older sister discovered the book. And she was like, oh my God, did you write this by yourself? Or did you read this somewhere? And I'm like, no, I just wrote everything. Like, it's my imagination. And she had been telling me right from 10 that I think that you should be a writer. I think you should write more stories. And so as I got older, I didn't even consider writing like a career path or something that I could make money off from. I just used to write for free. And a lot of times I wrote consistently without even putting my name. Because for me, writing was just something that gave me joy. So I would write a column, it would go viral, and I would even put my name on it. And it wasn't up until about 2015 that I actually started, you know, really thinking about this writing thing as a serious career path for myself and a serious business. And so that was when I started my publishing journey in 2015, and then got published in 2017.
Is that the story of a lot of writers? That love for literature while very young, and then it blossoms into writing, and that I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
That's a common story that cuts across a lot of writers. Is that correct?
It's correct, because every writer is obviously somebody that would love to read, and so reading is a habit that you pick up from when you're quite young. So I remember all my enlightening novels. I remember all the books that I used to read when I was younger. I was always reading a book, whether or not it was age appropriate. I would even hide and read certain books from my dad's library at the time. So I think that a lot of people, is their love for reading at an early age that spurs them on to then start writing. Yeah.
Let's dig into this story. I said you must be a very wicked type of writer. I mean, the way you crafted one of the things that fascinates me about creative writing is, you know, the power the writer has, you know, to just to create destinies, you know, to turn stories around. You are taking this character in this direction, and then suddenly in the middle of the book you take him in that other direction, and the poor reader is left confused, and you know. you know, but it's for those who are out there. Let's paint a picture of the story generally. You know, so the central character is Anjola.
Yeah.
The book is actually like a diary.
Yeah.
So the central character is Anjola. So what happens to Anjola?
Okay, so Angela is your average girl next door from a very humble background who hasn't really discovered herself because she's had a father figure missing in her life. And she didn't get a sense of identity from her mother, who was a single mother and was more concerned with trying to provide the basic needs exactly than filling that fatherhood gap that was missing in her life. And so very early in her life, she meets this older rich man who has this larger than life personality and has
Mr. TK.
Exactly, to
Mr.
Ayo-Kessington, yes.
Yeah.
And so he presents this larger than life persona, and because she's not really had a father figure, all of the emotions and the attachment and the obsession that a young girl would have with her dad, she just swept everything. Exactly. And so she struggles to fit into his world because, like I said, she's coming from a humble background. So she has like an inferiority complex that she's not even aware of. She has serious daddy issues. She's very paranoid, and she's just really struggling to fit into this world that she didn't even know existed until
and this
she met
Kessington family is a very powerful, aristocratic, rich, wealthy family.
Yes. So it's one of those families that you read about in the tabloids, and there's always some scandal they're covering. And of course, the key person behind the entire dynasty, the Duchess, who is her mother-in-law.
The mother of